the sun isn't normal. It runs because hydrogen nuclei are smashing together in a powerful reaction called fusion. So, if you flooded it with an enormous amount of water, you'd be giving it more hydrogen to fuse. And this amount of water would also increase the sun's mass, causing Earth to be pulled in closer because of gravity, meaning eventually everyone on the planet would be cooked. If you jumped out of a plane with a helium tank in a balloon, could you fill it up on the way down and survive the fall? Well, a single helium tank wouldn't have enough gas to slow you down. Instead, you would need one bigger than yourself, and your balloon would need to be over 16 feet wide. But this would take way too long to inflate, and since the weight of the tank would make you fall faster, you'd only start floating once you dropped it. This means you would need thousands of miles of fall time just to pull it all off. But this is far beyond any plane's limit, and at that height, you would actually just suffocate in space. He was keeping score of the baseball game in 1902, sitting next to two other guys. Now, he was using a pencil to write down the information, but after a while, it got too dull. He knew Leroy had a small knife, and asked if he could borrow it to sharpen his pencil. He agreed, and as he pulled it out, he opened it and began to hand it over. But just as he did, the player up to bat hit a foul ball that flew back towards the three men. It struck the knife while it was still being passed over the man in the middle. This forced the blade straight into his chest, in between two ribs and just over his heart. And within minutes, the 19-year-old bled to death right there on the spot. Imagine you were picked up, plopped into a glass coffin, and forced to the bottom of the ocean. You start freaking out because you have no idea why you're here, and everything happens so fast that you don't know how deep you are. As you feel around, you find a hammer. Maybe it's to smash the coffin and escape? But what if you're really deep and the coffin is pressurized? This means smashing it could get you crushed instantly, but you also could be shallow, meaning you would just float up and survive. The worst part is, you don't know how much oxygen you have left. Could be an hour, could be minutes. There's no timer, just your own panic making you breathe harder. You grip the hammer just to hold something. Maybe it's a dream, but the hammer feels real. The cold sweat feels real. You raise it up. Take one. Mirrors were mounted to the rifle, which allowed the image of the enemy to bounce from mirror to mirror into the shooter's view. Another stock